E-scooters, the newest form of transportation to hit streets across the country, but the devices do not come without a little controversy. Last night's City Council meeting proved just that, with the discussion about these things lasting nearly 4 hours. The conversation focused on the definition of electronic scooters and bikes, along with talks on how fast is too fast for those things on busy Missoula trail systems. On top of the long meeting, all the public comments were against the idea of franchises renting out e-scooters in downtown Missoula. So with all this debate, the council decided to hold out on this vote and send the topic back to committee to look at it more closely. Well, tonight we continue this discussion. KPAX's Kent Lutzen spoke with Missoula City Council member Jordan Hess to clarify a few of the misunderstandings from last night's meeting, and Kent joined us now live in the studio with more. Kent.
That's right, Jill. I think it's important to clarify this. That vote was a motion to set up regulations in the case an e-scooter franchise wanted to rent out the devices in downtown Missoula. This doesn't mean e-scooters are coming to Missoula. It's a possibility, but it's not the case right now. Despite this confusion in last night's meeting, City Council member Jordan Hess says the vote was really to set up a framework for a few different e-scooter issues. These are the chaotic scenes many in opposition were talking about in Monday night's City Council meeting. Scooters lying around in the middle of the sidewalk or being used and abused, causing unneeded waste in cities that have already allowed franchises to make home.
They littered the sidewalks, they littered the bike lanes, they littered the streets, and they littered everyone's yards.
And having these people zipping in around about you. And I'm sure that's what would happen here if we get them in this community.
These e-scooters, anything, whatever, is going to create more waste in our landfills for our children to deal with. It's toxic.
But it's a more complex issue than just allowing a franchise to rent out scooters. Residents already use their own private electric scooters on Missoula streets, which is technically against state law. Therefore, as City Council member Jordan Hess explains, this motion was an attempt to get ahead of the game and lay a foundation to manage these e-devices.
So right now there are no rules, and so if someone comes in, there's really nothing to govern what it looks like. So there's nothing to say, there's nothing to stop someone from coming in and dropping a lot of bikes and not maintaining them well. And so this is really exactly the opposite. It's an effort to create the rules and actually to create a permitting process so that our staff has a process by which they can evaluate these applications.
Those in opposition also say it creates the opportunity for injury. Many of these e-scooter systems recommend but do not require helmets. According to a recent Center for Disease Control and Prevention report, after analyzing more than 900,000 e-scooter trips between September 5th and November 30th of 2018, there were 271 people involved in some type of e-scooter incident that resulted in an injury. Nearly half of those hurt sustained head injuries, 15% of which were traumatic. The CDC added less than 1% of the riders it studied wore helmets. These stats, along with the continued public comment to the City Council, are what help shape these discussions, according to Hess.
Sending something back to committee is oftentimes a way to get, we get public sentiment through the public hearing process, and then we have the opportunity to have much more robust discussion at the committee level. So I think it's just part of the process. It's not anything abnormal. It's a way to solicit feedback and then go back and react to that feedback and retool.
The council will continue this discussion in committee on Wednesday from 11 to 1 at the City Council chambers.